Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Atlanta&Company. I'm Christine Pilara. The Georgia Department of Public Health is teaming up with GreaterThanAIDS. GreaterThanAIDS is a national movement to increase the knowledge and understanding of HIV/AIDS and confront the stigma surrounding the disease. You'll be seeing a rollout of the campaign on billboards, radio, and television. Take a look.
I was going to leave for the Air Force, and I got some really disturbing news after I took that physical upon entry. I was told that I couldn't continue on in the Air Force because I was HIV positive.
I found myself at a free clinic talking to a therapist, and it was really the beginning of the turning point.
When you accept yourself, you make yourself empowered to deal with anything.
I'm a mother, and I have a son that's HIV positive, and he's gay. I love him. I love everything about him.
It was a wonderful, beautiful moment when I realized I was going to, in fact, live.
To this day, I'm HIV negative, but regardless of your age, your race, your orientation, your HIV status, we all have a part to play in this.
So powerful, and joining me to talk more about the campaign and awareness are Dennis Flores with Metro Atlanta Association of Nurses in AIDS Care and Cheryl Courtney Evans, founder of Tilt Inc. Welcome to both of you. We're so happy you're here.
Good morning.
We appreciate it. Good morning. All right, Dennis, talk about this campaign. Why are you participating? How did you decide to get involved?
Well, I've been a nurse for about 5 years now, and I love my job, but my patients don't need to be my patients. It's a basic public health tenet that, you know, we want to prevent them from becoming sick.
Sure.
So, as I said, I love my job. I'd rather not have the patients that I see every day.
Right.
And I know that I can be instrumental in keeping them from being in the hospital.
Good for you. And tell me more about this campaign. We just saw some of the videos, some of the images that are so personal, people really sharing their deepest thoughts on this condition, how it happened to them, and what we can do to prevent it ourselves. So tell me more.
The thing that is great about GreaterThanAIDS is that it does show regular people talking about their experience. So when you humanize the situation, it then becomes something that, you know, people can relate to. It's not highfalutin medicine. It just puts it in context for regular folks.
Absolutely. And Cheryl, you're also involved in a campaign. You're in one of the spots. What does the GreaterThanAIDS campaign, what does it mean to you personally?
To me, it represented an opportunity to put the transgender voice in the arena. I wasn't seeing our demographic represented anywhere, either in graphs or information or advertisements. It was as if we didn't exist. And the only way that you can plug the hole in the dike is to address all portions of the community. So I decided that I should put a face on our community.
Good for you. And talk about these things, these deciding moments, because that's what the spots are all about. What has your deciding moment meant for you, or when was kind of the turning point for you? Cheryl, we'll start with you.
My deciding moment was like my third visit to the hospital with pneumonia. And this was in '81, late '81. And the patient advocate came to my room, and she was very blunt, but her bluntness kind of brought me back to myself and made me think. She said, "Would you rather live or die? It's your choice, because you can't keep coming back here like this." Decided I wanted to live. And I'm glad to say that it's 30 years plus now.
Fantastic.
Undetectable.
Wow, congratulations.
It's feeling great.
Good for you, good for you. Dennis, how about you? When was your deciding moment?
Well, as part of the community, the gay community here in Midtown, you get exposed to people talking about their lives. And then I realized that a lot of people affected are my peers. And it's just sad when you realize that, you know, even if it's a chronic condition that is very manageable, if you, as I said earlier, if you can keep your friends from suffering through that fate or having to deal with something for the rest of their lives, I'd rather be a part of that. And so, it was a cumulative experience of hanging out with friends and just people in my community.
Good for you, too. Just knowing that you could make a difference by speaking out and trying to create more preventions. Like you said, you don't want to see these patients. It doesn't have to happen that way.
Nope.
And Cheryl, let's talk about, for people who are HIV negative, what do you want them to know? What do you want to say to them?
I want to say to them, the people who are positive are them, as worthy, as safe to be around. I want to say to them that we're all just people, and there for the grace of whatever power you believe in, can you walk?
Right.
Our abilities don't diminish. Our personalities don't change. And it's okay. Learn. Know that it's not that easily shared.
Right. You just have to be tolerant. You have to be knowledgeable. Knowledgeable.
Right. Knowledge is
you feel like
power.
we've come a long way, or we still have a ways to go? Dennis, what do you think? She's rolling her eyes. we still have a ways to go.
There is a long ways to go.
Yeah.
Everybody does have a part in this. We wouldn't be talking about this if we're at a comfortable level.
Good point.
And the thing is,
Good
we're
point.
going into the 4th decade of it.
Wow.
I mean, when you look, it seems, looking back, that we shouldn't be dealing with the same issues that the prior generations had to deal with.
Right.
But it's still there. It's
Right.
the stigma and the discrimination and all the notions that people have with HIV and AIDS.
Okay, then that's my next question, because we're talking about tolerance and understanding. What would you like the community to know about HIV and AIDS that maybe you think most people in general, the general public, still might not be aware of?
Like a Christmas wish?
Yes, exactly.
Like if I had a wish that we could talk about HIV and AIDS in the same breath as diabetes or hypertension.
Okay.
That this is something that we can manage, that this is something we can avoid with our behaviors without any judgment calls on it, without any values being imposed on, on how people get infected or how they live their lives.
Right. And my question to you, Cheryl, was going to be something, but your answer might be, what would you tell people about HIV? What would you tell someone who recently found out that they were positive? Kind of the same things that you were just saying a minute ago.
Well, I would tell someone who just found out they were positive that it's not a death sentence. And that's been a double-edged sword, because too often now, because there are so many advances in medications, young people aren't as careful because they feel like, oh, well, Magic Johnson did it, so he's still around. But I would tell them that they must seek treatment.
Sure.
If they haven't connected with treatment, because it's imperative that they keep their viral load down as far as possible. And there are treatments that will do that and raise their T cells. You just have to take care of yourself.
Right, exactly. Good advice for all of us, actually. And last question, in your opinion, why should people join the movement? Any of us? All of us?
Simply because nobody is exempt from it. You're not exempt, your family's not exempt,
Right.
and so we all have our role. It's very trite, but we do have our own little roles to play, in this effort.
Right. Thank you both for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming out. Such an important weekend. I know you'll be there. You'll be at the parade. You'll be in the parade.
Yes.
So we appreciate it. And we'll be airing the parade on 11alive.com. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you creating awareness and about such an important cause. And we can't say it enough. If you would like to learn more about the Greater Than AIDS campaign or information about HIV/AIDS, simply log on to GreaterThan.org.